Agent Letts.
I always knew it would come to this. Interrogated by the BBC.
Agent Letts, you are our most valuable asset, and yet you have failed to land this program a single scoop. Explain yourself.
I don't have to answer to you.
We'll throw in a bottle of Blue Nun.
Oh. All right, then. It all started with a terrible row about a lost terror suspect. On Monday, it emerged that Mohammed Ahmed Mohammed had given his government minders the slip at a West London mosque. He ditched his electronic tag from Q Branch and radically changed his appearance. Personally, I couldn't see what all the fuss was about. I thought it was a brilliant disguise. The Home Secretary was spooked because he was one of those chappies on T-pins. Terrorism prevention and investigative measures. Try saying that after a stiff T-pin. Critics say they just aren't as strong as control orders. One chap just took off his tag, jumped into a taxi.
She was warned about changing the law. She was warned about weakening controls. She was warned more people would abscond, and they have, twice. But still she won't act.
What the Right Honourable Lady never tells this House, when she makes this point, is that 43 people who were subject to control orders have now exited those control orders. Because the truth is that even before time-limited TPIMs were introduced, the courts would not allow people to be left permanently on control orders.
But the real problem for the Home Secretary is it's almost time for TPIM's o'clock. A lot of these measures are about to expire, and they can't be renewed without fresh evidence.
Tell us about Plebgate next.
Plodgate. On Tuesday, it was the turn of the boys in blue to get a bashing. 2 officers had to perform the most excruciating, humiliating duty that can ever befall a public servant. They had to say sorry to Keith Vaz. Poor swine. They had to tell Hang'em High Vaz that they may have inadvertently misled MPs over a meeting they had with former Government Chief Whip Andrew Mitchell. Alas, PC Plod's memory just isn't what it used to be. One of them even forgot the name of the Home Secretary. Managed to call her that woman.
Whilst I believe that at the relevant point of the meeting on the 12th of October I appear to have failed to bring the Home Secretary's name to mind, I fully accept that this does not excuse the form of expression I used in the meeting with Mr Mitchell, and I apologise for that accordingly.
But one person who didn't get a full apology from one of the officers was the former Chief Whip.
Do you wish to take this opportunity, before I deal with what you've said, to apologise to Mr Mitchell and his family, as Mr Hinton has done, for the distress that has been caused?
Again, I can't apologise for something that I haven't done.
Commander Letts, tell us about your time in naval intelligence.
Ah, yes. The good old 21st Gloucestershire Sea Cadets. Later that day, government sources disclosed that BAE Systems is going to lay off more than 1,700 shipbuilders, most of them in Portsmouth.
What we've announced today is effectively that the Clyde will become the focus of the whole of the UK's warship building industry.
Many workers in Portsmouth felt they're paying a high price for trying to keep Scotland in the Union. And I'd agree. Many of us were surprised at Prime Minister's questions. They didn't seem to want to talk much about shipbuilding. Still went into extra time, though, the session. Burko, the Speaker. We all know who he works for. I was getting desperate for a scoop, so I assumed my best secret identity yet to try to flush out a story. What the Prime Minister might call the Ed Miliband disguise. Chicken.
He promised he'd protect the NHS, but it's now clear the NHS isn't safe in his hands.
I'm clear my job is to stand up for the NHS and deliver a strong NHS. When is he going to understand? His job is to stand up to the bully boys of Unite and show some courage.
And then the big story hit me. The spy chiefs were coming to town. The whole week had been a diversion.
Quentin, you've got to reach M.
The sky falls when it crumbles. We will stand tall.
leaks from Snowden have been very damaging. They put our operations at risk. It is clear that our adversaries are rubbing their hands with glee. Al-Qaeda is lapping it up.
Personally, I can't see the point of all this cloak and dagger stuff if even our top spy chiefs are no longer staying in the shadows.
It's called 21st century accountability.
And you have made us look like complete numpties again. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were a double agent. Or worse, a liberal Democrat.
How dare you! I've had quite enough of this. I'm off to have my tea. Anyone know how to get this chair off me? It's most annoying.